Hello again, and welcome back to Illegally Cited. This is Jesse, and I'm back for another iOS accessible app spotlight video. This time we are taking a quick look at Skeets, Skeets. This is a third-party app to access the Blue Sky service. Not terribly long ago, I did a video. I had created a video privately at first and submit it to the Blue Sky service support, and I haven't heard back from them. Interestingly enough, I have not heard back, but there was some questions. I don't remember. There was something that possessed me to release that video publicly. I think I just kind of wanted to show there was a lot of people. There were a lot of people who were, again, just frustrated with apps or game accessibility and just kind of going into rage mode. And I kind of wanted to just show an example of not only give people an idea of what the native Blue Sky app was like accessibility wise, but also show how I use videos. Even if I don't list the videos publicly, I might have an unlisted video that I will then share with the support team of whatever I'm making a video about, and then I will be able to clearly demonstrate what I'm talking about. I can verbally explain, and I can also demonstrate, because it's much easier than for the support team to go, oh, now I see what what you're doing and what the problem is. Because keep in mind, a lot of your developers are not, they may not know a lot about accessibility, especially screen readers. And so any kind of leg up that I can do to try to make things easier, that's what I try to do so that we can get things more accessible. But let's pop into the Skeet app, because it is much more accessible than the native Blue Sky app at this point. Just look up Skeets, Skeets, in the app, and you can create an account, you can log in, and whatever. So it behaves a lot like Twitter, or very similarly, Twitter/X. I'm still going to call it Twitter because it's always going to be Twitter to me. Let's open her up.
Skeets. Double tap to open.
Now, keep in mind, this is a
Patrick
social
Martin,
media
I visited
app. I cannot be responsible for whatever content you hear or see. I'm just trying to show you what's here. So on the top,
Button. Headgear.
at
Following. Button. Headgear.
headgear, I don't even remember what that
Cancel.
does.
Button.
What does, oh, right,
Selected.
that,
Button.
right.
Actions
So if you
available.
have
Logo
multiple
other.
Blue
Night
Sky
sky.
accounts, you can switch
Button.
between
Headgear.
them. Right. So that one isn't labeled
Following.
properly. I could custom label
Show
that.
filters. Button.
So show filters, if I double tap
Feed display
that,
preferences. Head.
these are kind of your display preferences. So it's not just like what kind of results you want to see, but I'll go through some of these options for you
Show
here.
replies. Switch button. On.
So you can,
Double
like,
tap to toggle
maybe
setting.
you just want to see new tweets for now. Maybe you want to see replies or reposts.
Followed users only. Switch button.
Followed
On.
users only. So like you could be like, oh, let me turn that off and let me get some, maybe I might discover some users based on the people that I follow. So if I turn that off, I might be able to get more viewers or more people that I don't follow.
Adjust the number of likes the reply must have to be shown in your feed. Adjust the number of likes the reply must
Yeah,
have to
so
be
you
shown.
can do
Adjust the
that.
number of likes. Show reposts. Switch button. On.
Show
Double tap to toggle
reposts,
setting. Show quote posts. Switch button.
quoted
On. Set the setting
posts,
to know
so
to
you
hide
can
all
have
quote
that
posts
on
from
and
your show
off.
replies. Feeds and show replies. Switch button. On.
Show
Set this followed
replies,
users only. Switch button. Enable this setting to only see
followed
replies between people
user,
you follow. In followed users only. Page 2 of 2. Show quote posts. Switch
show
button. Hide
quote.
repeating posts. Switch setting this yes will not show you the same reposted post over and over again.
Yeah, that is a cool thing. So those are just some really nice ways to kind of filter your main feed. I actually like that. I like that level of customization.
Button. Headgear.
Then you have your main body of your window. We'll get to that in a moment. But on the bottom, you have your tabs.
Tab bar. Selected. Feeds. Tab.
So
1 of
there's your
5.
feed,
Search. Tab. 2 of 5.
search,
Messages. Tab. 3 of 5.
messages,
Notifications. Tab. 4 of 5.
notifications,
Profile. Tab.
and
5 of
profile. Now, one thing I forgot to mention on the top,
following. Button. Headgear.
you have your headgear,
Following.
following,
Show filters.
and then
Button.
your filters.
Following.
So the following thing, it switches if I
Following.
double tap on
Pin feeds.
that.
Following. Pin feeds. Following.
I
Button.
can have pin feeds, I can do following
Discover. Button.
or discover. So if I want just my following, but I can maybe have it a little bit more discovery focused. I can choose how I want to do that.
Button. Headgear.
Um,
Tab bar. Selected.
but all the tabs on the bottom are pretty self-explanatory. And if you've used Twitter or X, you probably already understand what those are. Now, the one weird thing, explore by touch wise, like I can't, kind of right where it would be on Twitter, the new post button,
Blue pineapple 72. Vertical scroll
I
bar. 87
can't
pages.
seem
Blue
to
pineapple
get
72.
to it by explore by touch. I can't just
Blue
put my
pineapple 70.
finger on
Vertical
it
scroll bar.
and seem to get it to work. So what I find is easiest is I go ahead and touch in the lower left-hand corner.
Tab bar. Selected. Feeds. Tab.
There's my
1 of
feeds,
5.
and then if I flick to the left,
New post. Button.
there's my new post button. I can get to it by flicking, but this is one weird case where if you know where it is by muscle memory or you can visually see well enough to uh, hit that button, it just doesn't seem to really work yet. But I can double tap on that and then just do a new post, self-explanatory. But remember let me go ahead and let me pop out of the Skeets app for just one moment, because if you don't remember or didn't watch that video, let me open
The
up.
Stanley Parable. The YouTube. CapEx. Mail. Active. YouTube Music. Overcast. Active. Safari. Active. Messages. Active. Magnifier. Audible. Slack. Active.
Oh,
Bard
I think
Mobile.
I closed it.
Swipe up with
Hang
3
on.
fingers to close the Home. Skeets.
Uh,
Finance social folder. 22 apps.
Social.
Opening social. Blue sky.
Yeah,
Tap to
so
open.
let
Blue
me
sky.
open Blue Sky, and I'll show you kind of how
Blue sky.
inefficient
Ex-employee asking to work with me.
this is. So if I'm not going to go through the layout of this, but let me just try to read some posts.
Twitter is getting crazy desperate. I deleted the company and gained Twitter within months of Musk's takeover. Ex-employee asking to work
Whatever,
with me
blah,
on
blah,
Twitter page
blah.
206. Should he post the rest of our main character concepts today? Open Shannon Cannon Studios 50s. Shannon Cannon Studios at Shannon 50s.
So
Open Shannon Cannon
I
Studios.
have the main thing is to get through one post, I have to flick like between like 7 and 10 times, because you have the person's name, you have how long ago it was posted, you have the post, then you have all of your controls like your retweets, your blah, blah, blah. You have all of these different things, and you have to do that for every single post. So it gets really slow, really tedious. And in this app, the other thing is when I go to the name,
Reposted by Austin underscore Walker. Link.
okay, so some of them,
underscore at popart.bsky.social.
right, so you see all of these usernames, they're really long. They don't just say like illegally cited. It'll be like illegally cited at bsky.social, whatever. So again, there's so much clunkiness to this particular app.
Home, button, search, chat, notification, give it profile.
The stuff on the bottom, that seems okay. But when I go back to here now, let's go back to Skeets.
Button,
and
headgear.
What I usually do is I will
bar,
double
selected,
tap
feeds,
my
tab.
feeds button
Selected,
to make sure that I'm at the most current that it loaded. And then I will I'll touch up here, and then I will do a 3-finger swipe down to kind of refresh the page.
Page 1 of 102.
And in the top middle, right below where it says following,
up button,
there's an up button. And so that will kind of do the reload officially, and it will load any posts since you last looked at it. Because when you do the double tap on the feeds thing, it'll take you to the top of what you've already seen, but then I want to refresh to get the new content. So now I can just touch the thing here.
I'm sure the entirety of the comments will be
I can flick to the right.
Shannon Cannon Studios.
So you see that on this. You just saw that post on the other app.
Jet Valley Sec. Twitter is getting crazy desperate.
It tells me the name. It tells me the post, just like it used to on Twitter or X.
Shannon Cannon Studios. Should he post the rest of our main character concepts today? Jeffrey Russo. Use your heart and not your eyes. POPART underscore. Dominic Tarason.
I'm just
also recommended to someone else. A game I feel is deeply underrated, even if it's lacking AAA gloss. Star Ocean 6. The Divine Force.
I have not played Star Ocean games,
Dominic Tarason.
really.
It has snappy action combat. The plot moves at a nice clip. The English dub is good, and it has some great battle themes.
Okay.
PC version is better than the Steam user reviews suggest, because a lot of people missed the option to manually precompile shaders in the menu. www.youtube.com/v equals.
Okay, so let's say that I wanted to like that. Skeets actually does support the action rotor, so I can just flick up. Let's like it.
Like added.
Now I could
repost.
Flick up, and I could do just a straight up repost.
View user profile.
I can view user profile as an option. Links, I can get those.
Translate. Reply.
And I can do a reply or a quote, which is interesting because when you do repost on Twitter, it pops up that little menu and says, do you want to just repost it or do you want to quote it? So when you're on the main feed in Skeets, if you just do repost, it'll just automatically repost it where you don't have to add anything. But you can go to quoting it separately. So you could do that from the action rotor menu. But when you go into a post, and if you manually double tap on the repost button, then you will be given an option. Like a little menu says, do you want to just simply repost or quote it? So I kind of like the variation. I kind of like the convenience. There's a lot of times where I just want to repost, or maybe I do want to quote something. So
Mike Laidlaw, look at it this way. A short description of an idea is full of promise and can easily. Mike Laidlaw, my point is, there's no guarantee at all that what would. Wario 64, Alan Wake 2 Deluxe Edition, PS5/XXX is $49.99.
Okay.
Al Yankovic, why wait? Check out our big blowout holiday sale going on right now at shop.weirdal.com.
Al Yankovic, yeah, Weird Al, man. I'd love to get the ultimate collection of all of his music.
Zin and May, last animation hashtag Kabul Sasser, post Dominic Tarason, also recommended to someone else. Ed Zitron.
But you see just how, like, when I was looking at the other app, it was so clunky to get through every single post. But now I can just flick, and it works.
Tab bar, search, tab.
So I've got my search tab here.
2 of 5.
And, it works pretty similarly again to the Explore tab on Twitter or X. And you can just search for people. You can search for, search for a word or phrase and see if it comes up.
Messages, tab, 3 of 5.
Messages. Now, I have not done
Selected.
any direct
Messages.
messaging in this app yet, so I don't have any here. Because I've had a Blue Sky account for a few months. I got an invite a while back when it was still invite only. But I was still sticking to Twitter. Now I've kind of been bouncing back and forth between them. So I don't have any messages.
Notifications. Tab.
Notifications. This is just like your Twitter X app, where you have,
button. Dave's Deal Radar and 42 others follow you.
Yeah, so I got a whole bunch of new followers recently. And the one thing that is sort of annoying is if I flick to the left here.
54 minutes. Button. Adult. Button. Adult. Clothed. Button.
These are the little icons for all the people that have been following me. And it just said, like, there's not any labels. I wish it would pull in the username so that VoiceOver could read those usernames, because I have no clue who any of these people are. And to be honest with you, they only show probably like 7 or 8 of these going across. And it said how many?
Dave's Deal Radar and 42 others follow you.
42. If I double tap, it doesn't do anything. So how do I get to the list of like everybody in that post that follows me? I honestly don't know.
Add people /follow, image, and illustration of a blue
circle. So if I go add people
/follow,
I double tap, it doesn't do anything. I've even tried it with VoiceOver off, and I don't know if that's I would love it to just pull up a vertical list of when I actually, like when I do a search, it'll bring up a vertical list of people that match, what I'm looking at. But then, my notifications.
I am a legally blind technology game. And
so
4 stars and 2 others liked your post. Button.
A couple people like my post.
More requests on. Folks added. Such a great variety. Harry. Button. More requests on. Folks love. Button. Button. Illustrations.
Yeah. So I get responses. This is a little bit clunky. But one thing I will show you is button. I'm just going to click on one of these random people. No idea who they are.
Dave's Deal Radar.
Okay, Dave's Deal Radar. Who is he? I haven't followed him. It looks like visually.
Hey, I'm Dave. Dive into the hottest Amazon coupons, discounts, and epic deal finds.
Okay.
Always on the hunt to share the best savings.
If you were to kind of flick.
Dave's Deal Radar. Add, follow, notifications, button.
You can get notifications. Follow, you can follow. And if you have some low vision, it's very similar to Twitter. You have your kind of follow in the upper right corner, sort of under your banner. And then if you do follow somebody, you get the option for like messaging them, that kind of a thing. So it's very similar. But if I go to, let's say, like your followers are following.
1,976. Followers.
This is kind of like what your search screen looks like too. So like you get, I go to the top here.
Image and illustration of @himduncan86. Add, follow. Image, a person, Lana. @US number 1. Add, follow.
So you just get a list. You got to flick 2 or 3 times to go to each one because there's like little weird graphics in between. But you get this vertical list. It's
1,907.
semi clunky, but it is accessible. But once you get everybody added that you
Selected.
want
Interaction.
to, I mean, just going through your feed, it's very quick, it's very efficient, and it's quite accessible. And I will have to admit, as much as I'm still going to use Twitter, boy howdy, like I don't really want to give Elon money, but like you know how great it is to not have to literally see an ad every 2 posts. Like I flick through my feed here, there's literally no ads whatsoever yet. I mean, there might be eventually, but like right now, I just flick through and I get everybody's posts. I wouldn't even care if, like once every, I don't know, 20, 30 posts, there would be an ad as a post. But like literally on Twitter, it's become every 2 or 3 posts, I swear to God. And I've literally watched it happen. It's really bizarre. When I've been in Twitter, I'll be flicking through to listen to it with voiceover, and I'll be like halfway down the screen, and I will literally see an ad kind of just form into existence in between 2 posts, and then voiceover freaks out, and then it'll kind of jump around it. The focus will jump a bit. And so if you're wondering why voiceover often loses focus and seems to jump forward or jump back, that is often probably the reason why. So it's like I still have a lot invested in Twitter, and like if it were like maybe $2 a month, I would maybe more consider it, but I just can't give Elon money. But I've been so damn tempted because of how intrusive, not just how overall intrusive the ads are on Twitter, but just like literally it affects the accessibility when you're skimming through with voiceover. Yes, it's still largely accessible, but it can also be a real pain in the ass when things jump around and everything. So I mean that is pretty much
Tab bar.
your
Profile. Tab 505.
the main Skeet app. The
Selected.
couple things I
Profile.
also
Tab
want to show you,
505.
the profile thing here. You got
Illegally
a bunch
cited.
of your
93 followers, 603
options
following,
here,
50.
and you can look me up just illegally cited. I may actually start putting the like at the end of my videos, I say follow me on Twitter. I may have to start saying on Blue Sky as well.
Posts button.
But there's
Replies
like
button.
posts,
Likes
replies.
button. Lists. Feeds. Moderation. Edit account. Saved. Head. Bookmarks. Feeds. User subscription accounts.
I
Heading.
haven't done anything with feeds or bookmarks or like
Selected.
custom
Button.
stuff with that
Add
yet.
account. Ellipsis. Settings.
But I
Heading.
can add account. If I go into settings
Heading.
here,
Settings button. Upgrade. Heading.
there is an upgrade I could pay for. I have not paid for the pro version. I'm not exactly sure what the pro version of this Skeets app does.
Purchase Skeets Pro button.
But
General. Heading. Call them. Selected. Posts button. Skeets button. 2 of 2.
so you can tell it what you want it to call it, post or Skeets. That
set.
just sounds dumb. Post
Selected.
is better.
Pixlets. System. Low data mode. Switch button. Off.
Low data
Double tap to
mode,
toggle
you
setting.
can turn that
Actions
on.
available.
The one thing that I did change in here, there's an option to autoplay videos. Now it won't play with the sound on, but what I noticed is when I was scrolling through my feed, again on Twitter, if I was using voiceover, it wouldn't play the short video clip until I actually really clicked on the post. But in this app by default, it was playing the little video clips, and I'm thinking, well, just to save bandwidth and also to kind of save the efficiency where it's trying to load how many videos as they come up visually, and then you're running voiceover on top of that, especially if you're running an older phone where it's trying to process the video and run voiceover and all that stuff. I just turned that off so that basically now you'll see a little play button visually on there, and like if you go into the thread, then you can play, or go into the post, then you can manually play the video. But
timeline heading feed display preferences button, display toast message for new posts, switch button, insert, load more info button.
I
Selected.
haven't played
Below,
with a
content
lot of
filtering,
these options,
content filtering
but
button, mute lists button, block lists button, Chat settings.
There's my
Button.
block list, mute lists.
Accessibility. Heading.
Now we do have some accessibility things in here, and there's one other thing in particular that I really like.
Show post button in navbar. Switch button. Show refresh button in navbar. Disable animations. Switch auto-generate ALT.
I can disable animations if I want
off.
to.
Auto-generate ALT text. Switch button on.
Auto-generate alt text. I haven't really noticed this, but what I do notice when I'm flicking through my feed, and if somebody has a post with a picture on it, it will say does not have alt text. And if it has alt text, it'll read it to me. I thought this option would like try to, I don't know if it like uses AI or whatever to generate, but it doesn't, I don't know really what that feature does because I haven't noticed it so far.
Large ALT text indicator. Switch
Large
button,
alt text indicator.
Generate accessibility label. Info button. Selected. System button. On. Off. Digital health. Head. Mute words button. Hide numbers. Switch button.
So you can
off.
mute words if you want.
Composer. Head. Require ALT text before posting. Switch button. On.
Require alt text before posting. I turned this on. It's off by default. This is one that I wish they would that I wish that the developer would enable by default, because that would at least get people used to adding alt text. So if I generate a post and it's got an image in it, before I post it, it'll be like, hey, you need to add an alt tag to this, so that screen reader users can also get at that information. So again, I'm very glad that they have this feature. I just wish that it was enabled by default.
Remove at skeetsapp.com link. Switch.
Oh yeah, remove
skeetsapp.com link. Switch button off.
Ooh, yeah, let's turn that on too. Wait, oh, I need Skeets Pro to do that. Boo, really? Oh, that's poopy. So that's a feature that Skeets Pro has. I wonder, see, I look at this.
Features like the following. Bookmarks, image, a cell phone with a screenshot of a news article. Try it free, button. Terms and conditions, link. Terms of use, link. Privacy policy, link.
See the screen.
Adjustable. Swipe up or down with one page 2 of 4. Drafts,
oh, okay.
Image, a cell phone with a screen displaying text
Let's
of images.
see.
Drafts. Get early access to new features.
Okay,
like
I can do drafts.
Terms of use. Drafts, image, a cell phone.
Okay,
with a
this
screen,
is
privacy policy. Page 2 of 4. Page 3 of 4. Mute words, image.
Okay, mute words.
Try it free. Privacy policy. Page 3 of 4. Adjustable.
I can't explore by touch to get to this.
Page 4 of 4. Rich push notifications. Image. A smartphone displaying a social media post with text and a profile picture of a person. Rich push notifications.
But how much?
Privacy policy. Link. Page 4 of 4. Adjustable. Page 4 of 4.
It doesn't tell me anywhere, at least what I can see.
Get early access to new features like the following. Close button. Get early access to new features like the rich push notifications. Try it free button.
So try it free.
14 days free, then $1.99 per month. Try it free.
Oh, okay. So that's what I was trying to figure out, is if there was a lifetime, just like a buy it, a premium, but this is a subscription.
Restore subscription, but Skeets Pro yearly. 14 days free, then $17.99 per year.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Save 15% button. 14 days free, then $1.99 per month. Skeets Pro.
I just want to see if there's like a lifetime. There doesn't seem to be a lifetime option.
14 days free,
but
restore subscription.
I'm going to back out of this, and it does also, in addition to the action rotor, it does support the two-finger scrub gesture to go back. So clearly, they have thought of and implemented voiceover accessibility quite well. So because this is an app that is way more accessible than the native Blue Sky app. I mean, $20 for a year, you support the developer, not even $20 a year, it was like 17, $18. I may just choose to do that off camera because, again, I want to support the developer, especially if they have been including accessibility so well. Yeah, I may just do that, and then I can
remove at skeetsapp.com link. Switch button.
That again, remember in the other apps. So if people don't change their, like, you have your account name, but then you have like it's weird. Like you have your account name and then you have your display name, and the display name, if you don't change it, it'll be like the whatever at bsky.social, which is what mine was until like yesterday or the day before. And I just changed mine so it was just illegally cited so that people didn't have to see that. But for people who don't change that or still leave that type of thing in there, this is a nice convenience thing that gets some of that extraneous information out of the way so that VoiceOver doesn't have to yammer that every single time it sees that in a username. So just one of those quality of life things. I mean, it's kind of weird that they put that behind the paywall, but whatever, I guess. But there you
Page
go,
3 of 3.
guys. I mean, that is kind of a rough
Remove at skeetsapp.com
overview
link. Switch
of
button. Off.
Skeets
Double tap to toggle setting. Actions.
for Blue Sky. The final
Home.
thing that I
Linus
will
folder.
say about this app, or that I will say about Blue Sky, is like I said, if you are a Twitter user, X user, and you want to transition over to Blue Sky, or you want to use both, but you don't want to, because again, for me, even the thought of I've built up hundreds of people that I follow over the past decade or better through Twitter, and I don't want to start all this crap over. There is a Chrome extension that you can look at, that you can look up in the Chrome store, or just do a Google search for it or whatever. It Sky Follower Bridge. You install that plugin, and then if you log into Twitter on on the Chrome browser, go to their website, log into Twitter or X, and you don't just do it from the Twitter website. You have to go to the page. This was confusing me at first because I just went and loaded up Twitter, and then I tried to run the extension, and it was like, it asked me for my Blue Sky username and password, and it kept giving me this weird couldn't find whatever page error. And I learned that you have to actually go to your follower page on Twitter where it lists all of the people that you follow. So go to that page, and then once you're on that page, you can go up to your list of extensions, run that extension, and then again, you'll put in your Blue Sky username and password, and then there'll be like a I forget what the button says, but basically you run the button, and when you're on the correct page, you'll get this kind of a status pop-up window of like it's scanning your current page and looking on Blue Sky to see if it can find matches. And then when it's all done, you click kind of the finish button or see results button, and then it'll show, like, it brings up a web page where it's just like on the left hand side there's some filters and all this kind of stuff, and on the right hand side there's all the users that it found on both that you could manually follow. So if you wanted to go through your list and choose who to manually follow, you could do that. Or on the left side where there is where there's all the filters and stuff, there's a button that says like follow all, or I forget what the word is, but it's like transition all or follow all or import all, whatever it is. But there's a button for that, and it takes some time because you can just literally watch it visually down. It starts at the top of the list and just goes boop, boop, like every second or two. It just goes through until all of them are done. So I would just let it sit there for like 5 minutes or better. It'll be done. And then all of the people that you follow on Twitter/X should be, you should be able to follow them on Blue Sky. So I'm not going to go through that process in a video, but just remember Sky Follower Bridge. You can get the Chrome extension. And just remember that you also have to go to you can't just be on the X homepage or your feed. You have to go to the page where it lists all of your people that you are following for it to work. So there you go, guys. If I've seen a lot more people just on the disability community, gaming community especially. Yeah, I don't know. Blue Sky seems to be the new thing, and so I was a little concerned because the native app was not very efficient, but the Skeets app is pretty good. And so if you also want to join the community, you can. Again, if you want to follow me there, it's just look up Illegally Cited and you'll find me. Follow me, go ahead. But yeah, that'll wrap it up. You can follow me on Twitter at BGFH79, on Blue Sky at Illegally Cited. illegally-cited.com, twitch.tv/illegally-cited, and right here on YouTube. So give the video a like if you did. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and until next time, I will chat with everybody again later.